good, you guys? It's Boomer and Jared watching Bali Star. Today, we is getting into how Drake ruined his reputation by the channel called Dupli. You feel me? So, yeah, man. Let's get straight on into it. Let's go.
There's no way out of this one. You're done. Let me tell you a story about how the biggest rap artist of all time was decimated, exposed, and pulled apart in the most brutal rap beef of all time. But how did we get here? I've seen a lot of people talking about the facts of the situation, but I think in order to truly understand this beef, we need to get inside these rappers' heads and explore their psyche. The core reason we're here right now is because Drake and Kendrick are two completely different archetypes of people. They think differently, they see the world differently, and ultimately they approach their art differently. Kendrick Lamar has spent his entire career challenging himself and his audience, changing minds and presenting depth to the masses, exposing his biggest flaws and contradictions to the world. Kendrick undoubtedly uses his influence to serve a higher purpose. In contrast, Drake plays it extremely safe. His only purpose in this world is to satisfy consumer demand. He's not an artist. He's a corporation, a business, a product, a content creator. He will become whoever you want him to be if it brings him profit. Everything he shows the world is pure optics. No moral compass, no identity. He makes his money, upholds his image, and that's all that matters. For him, it's not that deep. Just to summarize, one tries their hardest to present their true self to the world, while the other does everything in their power to hide it. Let's make it even more simple and dramatic. We're talking about fake versus real here. Lies
real battle
versus truth. So what happens when these two forces collide? An absolute catastrophe. I know we say this beef started because Cole teamed up with Drake on First Person Shooter, but honestly I think Kendrick was just waiting for an excuse to fire off on this man, even way before this, okay?
Oh yeah.
And when he got it, he used it expeditiously.
And exponentially.
Kendrick made his long-awaited comeback on Future and Metro Boomin's album, We Don't Trust You. He dissed Drake and Cole, saying there's no big three, it's just big me. None of you can fuck with me, woo woo woo, we already know how the story goes. Club bangers are always effective when it comes to dissing, so Drake was pretty much forced into responding back. Especially seeing all the backlash Cole was getting for tapping out. I already have a video on Cole's side of the story, it's gonna be in the top right if you're interested. Anyway, 3 weeks go by until Drake finally accepts the challenge, and the beef officially starts.
Shop and give 'em 50. Pimp squeak pipe down. You ain't in no big three.
Drake's approach was clear as soon as he leaked his first diss track to Academics, which is probably the pussiest way to release Drake's approach was clear as soon as he leaked his first diss track through Academics, which is probably the pussiest way to release a diss track in history. He was planning on playing the internet game and ridiculing Kendrick just like he did with me. The Push-Ups track was indicative of that because it was heavy with the jokes but really light with the substance.
They make excuses for you because they hate to see me lit.
Bro, do people even say the word lit anymore? What is this, 2018? I hear that word and I instantly imagine a Supreme box logo and some skinny jeans. Drizzy Drake showing his age here, I guess. Though listen, I'll admit, the beat, the flows, and the overall presentation was elite.
He's getting jumped by 20 people and he's fighting back? So he's obviously the winner here.
That's framing for you. That's what they call framing right there in showbiz. Also, I have to note before we go deeper, Kendrick's wife was brought up in here. Very relevant to what we're going to talk about later. Yeah, so Push-Ups caused quite a splash. People liked it, but Aubrey wasn't done, okay? Several Instagram stories later, he went back-to-back with Tailor-Made Freestyle. Again, very memey, very undermining. It had like an AI Tupac verse, which Drake hoped would provoke Kendrick and get him out of his comfort zone. All of this is in character for Drake. You know, using optics to his advantage and manipulating public perception in his favor. While all this time, Kendrick was just silent and off the grid, which is just as fitting for him. At this point, people were already hailing Drake the victor. DJ academics were doing daily countdowns on Twitter, eating dick on live, OVO goons high-fiving each other in the street, doing the Tootsie slide. Little did they know that the battle was already over before it even started. And the reason is very simple. You can't go through your whole career watering down for mass consumption, making music for the lowest common denominator, and then go up against someone who is actively pushing boundaries, taking risks, and seeking greatness for the past decade. You can't do it. They have more creative competence, their pen is sharper, and their skill set is larger. Optics can only take you so far if you have the inferior product. Again, Drake, you know this. This is economics 101. Considering Kendrick's catalog, we can only assume he planned all of this out meticulously, months or even years in advance. Drake never even stood a chance.
He never saw it
what
coming.
Would transpire next is one
He
of the
never
most
saw it coming.
beatdowns in the history of hip-hop.
Euphoria.
Alright, before I really get into it, let me just start with this. And I have to say it because it's frustrating. There are no rounds, okay? If it wasn't painfully clear up until this point, it should be now. Nobody even knows what songs they're supposed to compare at this point.
Okay, so if TaylorMade dropped here, and Euphoria dropped here, but no, TaylorMade was more of a mid-round. 616 is also a mid-round. So then, like, bro,
stop.
Thing is, Drake stands baited everybody into starting to do that. Starting to put rounds into it.
Sounds stupid. It's genuinely the dumbest shit ever. And everybody just unanimously accepted it for some reason. Like, tell me,
they'd be like,
what
okay,
was
it's
the
your
score
go.
of the
Okay, it's
Pusha
your go.
Drake
Okay, it's your
beef,
go.
The Tupac Biggie beef, the 50 Ja Rule beef. Nobody knows because we don't even view it that way. We don't go off rounds. We go off impact. That's what really matters here. People remember the bomb. They don't remember the 2 songs before it. Kendrick released Euphoria on a Tuesday morning, responding to Drake with 30 different angles over 3 different beats. This approach was really different because Kendrick wasn't talking to the audience or seeking validation. He was just talking to Drake directly, aiming at his heart, at his soul. On the other end, Drake doesn't have the ability to do that. It felt like he was just throwing punches to show everybody else that he's not scared of fighting back. You know, that he wasn't pussy. But unfortunately for
it's
him...
crazy because I guess it stems back to the time when he was young and he was just trying to prove, because he said it himself in an interview, like he felt that like he was uncool when he was young in elementary school and all that stuff. So he was trying to prove that he's cool then, trying to prove that he's cool now, trying to prove that he can hold his own, trying to prove that he's not pussy. That's all that mattered to him. It was just to prove that he's not pussy. It was just proving.
He is. Even still, I was worried. Punches to show everybody else that he's not scared of fighting back. You know, that he wasn't pussy. But unfortunately for him, he is. Even still, I was worried because Drake was putting in work in the PR department, making sure to keep the mean machine going. And in this day and age, I wasn't sure if people would appreciate Kendrick's angle more than
Oh my
Drake's.
God, the memes.
After hearing the diss track, Aubrey rushed to Instagram to put out a spicy Instagram story, trying to undermine the whole response.
And what's up with the white movie memes?
Always,
I mean white breaded movie memes.
He's a bitch. He moves like a high school mean girl. All of his moves are so slimy and pussy. There's an element
you see
of
clearly
pussiness to all his moves.
Stop being an activist, bro. You're not being lit right now, bro.
I'm gonna kill each and every one of
like
you.
what?
I'm gonna kill you all. I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. And so performative.
Okay, not that
like,
part.
Tell us how you really feel. Who are you? Are you a person? Be a person. Drake thought he was Denzel in The Equalizer, but it turns out he's Denzel in Training Day. Here we start to enter 4D chess anime plot territory, because this is something you only usually see in fiction, in movies. This doesn't happen in real life. I promise you.
Smell somebody lying. I don't see no fire.
Kendrick knew Drake wasn't dropping, so he could go back to back, warning him, basically saying, hey, you're gonna get cooked when you respond. Them little memes are running out of steam. They figured you out. The forced opinions aren't convincing. You need a new route. He basically put
There's no way out of this one.
in song form,
I've been
just
waiting
showing
for
how
this.
calculated his entire approach was. Thinking that Kendrick could empty this chamber, Drake played right into his hand and released 7-minute lyrical clinic, Family Matters, thinking shit was sweet. And there's some serious allegations in here. There were hard-hitting disses in this track. He put his heart and soul into this, saying Kendrick beat his wife and that his child is not his. Extremely disrespectful diss, and had people seriously questioning Kendrick's character
right now.
for a cool 25 minutes before Kendrick and his child is not his. Extremely disrespectful diss, and had people seriously questioning Kendrick's character for a cool 25 minutes before Kendrick ended this man's career.
Was it 52 minutes later?
Dear Adonis.
Drake got his little high production label approved.
Not even for an
rap
hour.
Caviar radio single completely stepped on, nullified. I genuinely think this is the best diss track of all time. I don't even think I'm gassing it. Like, we've never seen a psychological beatdown of these proportions. Called him a deadbeat, an addict, Canadian P. Diddy, revealed he had another child, disrespected his entire family, adopted his son. Worst of all, it didn't even feel like a diss. He was just showing the world who Drake really was. I honestly feel like even he was learning new things about himself listening to this. Why believe you? You never gave us nothing to believe in. That's the hardest line out of this entire beat. Double entendre too, because he's not only talking about all of Drake's lies and manipulations, but he's also referencing the fact that Drake's empty and accessible music never really had the power of moving its listeners. At this point, the battle was over, okay? No amount of double entendres over Take Keith production could possibly remedy this. This is character annihilation, and Kendrick strategized it to a T. And listen, before this went down, I was convinced in the fact that I was the biggest Drake hater, okay? But Kendrick really, he really surprised me. I think he has me beat here. Like, this liar, master manipulator, fake guy narrative, I've been putting it out. Look at this vid right here.
Now, when Kendrick said that Drake should twice on the song, I was like, oh yeah, nah, he does not like this nigga.
6 months ago, I was the only one saying this. And on this liar, master manipulator, fake guy narrative, I've been putting it out. Look at this vid right here. 6 months ago, I was the only one saying this. And on that note, let me talk to all the OVO ovulators out there watching this. I fucking told you. I told you. I broke all of this down for you, and you called me crazy. That's right, Max. I was right, and you were wrong.
And send this to that one dude, Chicklet on Instagram. You know, that dude that be like with his girl. They be doing like skits. I think his girl name is Melanie or so. Yeah, him. That dude. Oh my goodness, bro. That dude is the biggest one, along with Act, one of the biggest Drake ball suckers ever, bro. No Diddy.
What the fuck? They tried gaslighting me on stream into thinking I was reaching, bro.
Now this nigga make good videos, but he's saying nonsense. You're wearing a house star though.
I should have reached harder. One thing he's right about though is the box is way bigger than just him and academics.
Drake fucks more bitches than Kendrick Lamar will ever speak to in his lifetime.
You lied about yourself.
You notice it's all geeks and nerds that are saying this, bro. This is what his fan base consists of.
I'm done.
He has a bunch of women and he might have children out there somewhere. and this is like some oh shit.
I'm letting you know, any nigga who comes from the OVO camp, anybody who comes from Aubrey, anybody who comes from the Sixth God, the boy, he still got it in him. And any nigga who wants to try him or test him, you'll get dealt with, nigga.
He said all of you niggas, including the nigga he's in a beef with. Nobody wanted to take that nigga on tour. The fuck y'all can't, this is where it stops.
Drake reached into his fanny pack to drop another Instagram story.
Can somebody please find my daughter for me? These guys are in shambles.
7 laughing emojis? Listen, 2 emojis I'd buy. 4 emojis, maybe. 7 emojis? Yeah, you definitely did that shit, bro. Like,
who
you just got exposed as Aubrey Weinstein, and they're the ones in shambles? I get what Kendrick
And that's what you
forced
focus on?
opinions now. He posed and asked someone else to take a picture of him looking unbothered. After listening to that Kendrick track and looking at this story, it came to me. The whole angle of this beef, everything Kendrick was going for, was leading towards one single point. We don't trust you anymore. The Metro Future album had finally come full
Never
circle.
gave us nothing to
Nobody even
believe
cares
in.
about the accusations Drake made, because he lost all of his credibility. I think this was really the point of no return, because people were now aware of Drake's true character. And even though no one is replaying this track, and they may even forget it in a couple of years, it did irreversible damage and permanently lost Aubrey the popular vote. The game was won.
And I think it'll be played in that type of value, whereas it doesn't really have much replay value. The damage that was done was like Nas's Ether, almost to that fact. Towards like people will go back to that song and be like, yeah, this is the song that made the moment, that made the impact. That
At this point, the only question left was if he was going to win by 15 or 40. And Kendrick went for that 40 ball, making a club banger out of Drake's pedo allegation.
Beat your ass and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up to school.
Now he was not only losing the conscious battle, but he was also losing the club banger battle. Okay? He was getting bitched from...
now I call it, he beat him psychologically, now he's gonna beat him publicly. Like, to the public. Like, yeah. Yeah. First he was talking to a soul, now he's talking to the outside world. You know what I'm saying? Like, genius. Nigga's a fucking he's the Einstein of hip hop today.
Every single side. Outplayed, outsmarted, outclassed. This is your goal? Okay, so that's you. Light-skinned P. Diddy. That's who you're rocking with. Okay, I just had to clarify. Sorry, I just had to clarify. Not willing to accept his fate, Drake just keeps digging himself a deeper and deeper hole.
We already know you about to drop.
Wait a second. We? Drake, I didn't know you spoke French. Who is we supposed to be? Because no one is rocking with you at this point. You lost. The main thing of this whole track is that he set Kendrick up with the whole false child, 11-year-old daughter, which doesn't exist apparently. And that all the info of him having another kid was purposely fed to Kendrick. This doesn't make sense for several reasons. First of all, he called the guys who fed him the information clowns. And then a couple bars after, he said they purposely fed him the information. Why are they clowns if you purposely fed him the information? So that's just a complete contradiction. It's so painfully obvious he knows just as much as we do. And another thing, most important, is the fact that everything he said on this track literally came from Twitter. None of these angles are his. He copied them over from his own fan base. That's what he did. Bro, even the title is something Drake fans were largely saying and suggesting.
Right?
Before
Sending
he
pics.
ultimately dropped it.
You know
I can't wait till Drake dropped.
He was picking from what his stance were sending him. He was like, I think I can use this one.
Heart Part 6, 60,000 likes, and he drops. Kendrick would never do something like that. then if I was a pedo, I would have gotten arrested? Bro, you're dumb. Saying that Kendrick is the dumb and reactive one?
Let's make a song about not dealing kids. There's no way for people to think they diddle kids than to make a song not dealing kids.
Bro, does anybody even believe that? Like, there's different levels of liar, and there's the one where you say things that are true about yourself and project them out to other people. For me, that's where it stops.
Right,
being
it's like you're
toxic
saying
and
it.
cute. And
It's like you're saying it to other people to have them believe it, and in turn you believe it yourself. That's called lying and believing your lie.
and starts being disturbing. And you know what? I am biased, but when it comes to this, I'm not. Okay? I'm not acknowledging bias with these arguments. We're not gonna act like these two have the same level of rapport. As far as we know it, Kendrick has never lied about anything in his whole career. He never pretended to be something he's not. Drake has been doing only that for his entire career. Two different categories we're talking about here. They shouldn't be held to the same standard. Ultimately, listen, my prediction came true. Drake's house of cards came tumbling down. The truth caught up with him. The bubble burst. Drake fans are now switching sides, proving their allegiance to him was just as shallow as his music is. I guess he's not lit anymore.
Let this be a lesson. Never hide your true self. Eventually, you're
Oh
gonna
my god, bro. If that was not the perfect depiction right there. Especially in what he said, bro.
Let this be a lesson. Never hide your true self. Eventually, you're gonna be exposed and your whole world is gonna come crashing down. Cole may have lost the beef, but in the end, still won because he was honest with himself and the world. And now he has
He lost the battle,
something
not
that
the
Drake
war.
will never have. Peace of mind.
An immaculate video by Dupley, bro. That shit was immensely immaculate. Bro, jeez, at the end gave me goosebumps, bro. What he said and putting that picture of Drake doing the blackface. Jeez, bro. It's like that's what he's been doing this whole time. Oh my god. Nah, that's how I saw it too, bro. This wasn't a battle just between Kendrick and Drake. This was a battle versus, like, between real versus fake. Like the battle between heaven or hell. Good versus evil. Real versus fake, bro. Like, that was Kendrick versus Drake. Feeling full versus feeling empty. Geez, this was like one of the best videos describing the whole beef. To me. Describing the whole situation of what was really taking place during this beef. Cat Williams, what have you done, bro? Y'all let me know your thoughts about this down in the comment section down below. It's Boomer. You're watching Bali Star. Make sure to leave a like, support the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. I'm going to catch you on the next one, bro. This, oh my god. 100. Oh!
Yeah.